the the backup of the Argentinian people. It was quite something, and for us, it we became emotional as well because it goes straight to your heart when you see that much affection and passion, uh, pride and joy. Yeah, a very unique experience. I will never
El,
forget it.
Troels Vang es el piloto danés que comandó la llegada de los aviones F-16 a la Argentina, que pasaron por Río Cuarto, también sobrevolaron Buenos Aires, y es un piloto que tiene más de 20 años de experiencia, pero también es muy conocido por sus participaciones en las redes sociales, donde conecta con la gente y donde se impresionó muchísimo por la llegada, por el calor de los argentinos. Estamos en contacto con él, con Cadena 3. Hi, Theo. Thank you for receiving us. And in the first place, I would like you to ask you, how was the mission to come to Argentina, and what was the thing that was more challenging?
Really pleasure. And the the ferry flight mission to Argentina was a very, very good mission. We were successful. We were on time, and most importantly, we had all six jets that we planned to bring in Rio Cuarto at the 5th of December. So a very successful mission, and also a very challenging one because it is a long way. It's a long way from Denmark to Argentina. So so a very challenging mission. A lot of different ends has to meet and has to be in unison for it to work. So a very exciting mission and a very challenging mission.
What can you tell us, Theo, about the F-16s? Why are they good planes? How is flying one? I imagine that it requires years of experience, right?
Both yes and no. So it helps to have years of experience, as I do, but actually the F-16 is a very pilot-friendly fighter jet. So it's also a very good jet um, for not so experienced pilots because it is so how you say, it's so good to the pilot. It's so intuitive the way you operate it, and especially flying the jet. So it's a real pilot's jet. My Argentinian colleagues, the pilots will love to fly this jet. It's super easy to maneuver. It's extremely agile and maneuverable, and extremely powerful as well. So where you think you want to go, the jet will take you there just by simple movements. So it's a very, very good jet to fly. Of course, to master the jet and all the things it can do, uh, you will have to train a lot, and that requires experience. Um, but it's a great jet. The F-16, and why it's a good jet? It is the benchmark of the fourth generation fighter jets. So it is the jet that all other jets have been measuring up to until we had the fifth gen fighters. So it is the most used jet by air forces in the world, and it is that for a reason because it is so good. So it is a very good jet, and it is a jet that has been modernized up to this very point. So even though it is an old jet by design, it's also a very, very modern jet because all of the avionics, all of the weapon systems are brand new, up to date. So it's a very capable fourth gen fighter jet.
That's good. And I would like to ask you about you, Theo. Why did you decide to become a pilot? How did it started? And then you start to connect in social media with a lot of people. I would like to ask you about that transformation and what's the most valuable thing about talking to people and have that kind of connections.
I almost can't remember why I started because it's so long ago. Um, but I always had a fascination for flying. And when I was a conscript in the army, started out in the army as a very young man doing my service for the nation. And at one of the last exercises, a couple of F-16s were in on the exercise and passed low level, just like we did when arriving to Argentina. And you saw the people and the effect it has, like a low-level fighter jet. Um, Very impressive. And I think that sparked uh, my desire to try to become a pilot. So I applied to become a pilot and was lucky enough to go through all the tests. And and here we are today, 25 years later.
And the social media thing why did you start to sharing your stuff in social media, and what's the most valuable thing about that contact with people?
Social media thing came very late in my career. I have been so fortunate to be able to do the flying demonstration for the Danish Air Force. So we have a F-16 solo demonstration where we exhibit all the magnificent stuff an F-16 can do. So it's very fast, it's very maneuverable. We also go slow speed, a lot of angle attack, a lot of different, very spectacular maneuvers to display what the jet can do. And when you do that, you go to air shows. And at air shows, there's so many aviation fans, and they always want to talk, and it's their only chance to meet pilots, especially military pilots, in real life. Uh, and after doing that for a couple of years, I saw some of my colleagues, they had social media. So both official pages and unofficial pages. And I started up a page just because the other guys had a page. And I quickly found out that there's a huge fan base for aviation and military flying. And it is it has just grown from there. I think it's fun. I like the interaction. Um, Most of the stuff we do is very serious. It's very secret, and we can't tell about it. But for the flying demonstrations, we try to be open and we try to get the public engaged and if we're lucky, inspire some young people to join the Air Force or to join the military. So, and that connection with the fans and the crowd is, in my opinion, extremely valuable and also personally rewarding because you meet so many nice people, and and you don't have to you don't have to give them everything, but if you show them interest and you participate in this, they there's so much love the other way as well. So it's really uh, it's really a great job to be able to get permission to try to inspire the next generation to become pilots.
And what can you tell us, Theo, about Argentina? What did you like the most? What did you impress you the most? Like I saw videos of people receiving you in little places that were crazy about the arrival of F-16s. So what did you like most about Argentina?
I love the positive approach they had towards us. So we were quite almost overwhelmed by all the support and all the joy and the pride of the Argentinian people for receiving the F-16s. We did not expect that. We knew that Argentinians were passionate and patriotic, but we were kind of blown away by the enormous and overwhelming backup we received coming to Argentina. It was, I think we all the pilots we talked about it. It was quite an experience, and I didn't know that much about Argentina beforehand. Of course, we all know it to be a great football nation, Messi and the world champions, of course. So, and Denmark also, we also very much into sports and football. So of course we know that part of it, and we know that you are famous for great steaks, meat, and of course excellent red wine. So that we were looking very much forward to, and it was really good, by the way. But we were looking very much forward to that. But we did not expect that much love from the people, and already on the first day arriving to Rio Cuarto was really impressive. Um, yeah, and you saw the social media and the internet with the people like cheering and in tears and also a lot of our colleagues from the Argentinian Air Force showed a lot of emotion, and there was a lot of hugs and Yeah, it was quite something.
Have you seen that level of passion in other countries, or Argentina was quite special in that way?
Quite special. I have not seen that anywhere we've gone before in Europe, but um, you experience some of the same patriotism in other countries, and especially in the United States, they always, even though we are from Denmark, they always thank us for our service to the military. That's uh, that's something they're also starting to do around Europe. Haven't done much before, but but never have I seen the the backup of the Argentinian people. It was quite something, and for us, it we became emotional as well because it goes straight to your heart when you see that much affection and passion, uh, pride and joy. Yeah, a very unique experience. I will never
Uh,
forget it.
and what does it take, Theo, to be an F-16 pilot? And how do you face the fear? Or I imagine that you have to be really psychologically trained to face that kinds of feelings. What do you feel when you're in the air?
Training helps you with the the feelings that you try to avoid. So the feeling of fear and also the feeling of not being able to perform to the top, which can happen to everybody in high pressure jobs. But I think the way we train as fighter pilots um, makes those feelings kind of fade away in the background. So as soon as you start with the entire process of planning for a flight, mission planning, briefing, all that stuff, you go into that familiar place where you know you're good at what you're doing because you've had the best training. So and you have once you've tried success a couple of times, you know, okay, this might seem overwhelming, but we are gonna be able to do it. So you start that process, very thorough planning, checklist, all that stuff, briefings, and then as soon as you start the engine and the canopy comes down, you're in that world again where you are the capable one, and you know that there will be success at the end of it. So I guess it's in my opinion, it's a matter of preparation, very thorough preparation, a lot of training, and I know that all my colleagues are on the same level, very professional, very capable. So that makes it a success. Just like we saw for this mission, you know, three different countries, mostly of course Argentina and Denmark, but also support from the US with air refueling. Um, all these professionals from different countries going together to make a tough, challenging mission a success.
And I imagine, Theo, that flying to this profession made you fly to a lot of countries. I don't know if there is another country that really surprised you or places that you never imagined to go.
Some really good, some bad, because on social media we show a lot of the cool stuff, the exciting stuff, but we have to remember this is very serious. Uh, this is war machines designed to win wars. So sometimes when we go somewhere, it's also to do serious business. And some of those countries have not been very nice, but we have gone there and we've done the job. And but the best experience has always been going to um, exercises or deployments where we are training with other nations to become better pilots. And I look forward to hopefully also someday be able to train with the Argentinian pilots now that they fly the F-16. So
And we're closing to not steal you a lot of time, but I like to ask you about, have you seen movies about aviation like Top Gun, and how real are they, if you think they are?
of course I've seen Top Gun. Everybody has seen Top Gun. Um, uh, I I have to admit some of it is very unrealistic. Some of it is very realistic. So um, not going to elaborate which is which, but at some points you think, oh, that is just, that has nothing to do with the truth. But some of it has, and especially the new Top Gun with, or it's not that new anymore, but the newest Top Gun, they had actors in the jets, flying in the jets. I love that about the new Top Gun, that they didn't make AI, it wasn't computer generated. It was actually people in jets, and you could see the expressions on their faces when they're pulling G's, and I really like that. So yeah, I watched all the stuff, and I like it.
And to close the interview, I would like to ask you, Theo, what advice would you give to a young Argentinian guy or girl that wants to become a combat pilot?
My only advice is do it. If you dream it, do it. Go for it. It is it is a what do you call it? It's free. Like it's not going to cost you anything to give it a go. And if you were standing on the streets of Buenos Aires when we passed six F-16s above, and you thought to yourself, I would love that to be me, then you should go for it. You should definitely go for it. Send an application and try out and see if it's something for you. You never know if you're going to be good at it or not, right? So if it's in your heart, pursue that dream and go for it.
Theo, thank you for receiving us, and it was a pleasure to have you in Argentina.
Pleasure, and I hope to be back someday. Thank you so much.